Nice, yes.
Wow. All right, well, welcome to PrepZone on the Road. We are here at Port St. Lucie. That's the first time, Dennis, by the way, that we've had a band playing for us. I want to get them in the office. So every time we do anything, just, write a new story and they just pound it. That was well done. All right, so, Dennis, we are now into week 3. It's gone by really fast. Your thoughts, biggest takeaway from week 2?
I'm going to go with Martin County quarterback Austin Kirkendall. He has thrown for 622 yards, 7 touchdowns, and most importantly, no interceptions. If you look at his career numbers in 21 career games before this season, he had thrown 11 touchdown passes and 24 interceptions. It's hard to win a game with that ratio, but when you're 7-0 as he is this year, you can win every game.
Yeah, a couple big things. One, they're throwing the ball enough that he's on pace for 3,000 yards, which is unbelievable. Number 2, for them to have changed quarterbacks again. Kirkendall was quarterback 2 years ago. George Johnson was quarterback last year, and now Kirkendall is back. For them to be having that kind of success early is phenomenal, and obviously a big game this week against a team from Colorado. So we'll see if he can continue having that kind of success. For me, it's Sebastian River and just a Jekyll and Hyde. Offensively, they're struggling. Defensively, this might be the best defense I've ever seen in my time on the Treasure Coast. You're talking about 8 guys with Division I offers. Jerez Parks won our defensive game ball. He's number 1 on the Super 11. Half their team's on the Super 11. So just a phenomenal defense. If their offense can be consistent, I'm not even saying score. If they can get first downs, if they can keep drives going, keep the defense off the field, this is a team that could make a serious playoff run. They're that kind of talent, I think, on defense.
When you only allow 10 points in your first 2 games, that makes it awfully better for a lot better for the offense. They don't have to score 40 points a game to win. They just have to be efficient.
Right. I've always said with them, and I think the same thing for Treasure Coast, 21 points is the magic number. I think if they can get to 21 points a game, they should win 9 times out of 10.
Well, here's the thing. That defense is going to keep them in every game this season.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Number 2. What team has surprised you most? We've had 3 games, Kickoff Classic included. Which team has surprised you based on what you were either thinking about or worried about coming into the season?
I'm going to go with Fort Pierce Westwood. The Panthers are 0-2. I think a lot of people thought they were trending, myself included, thought they were trending upward sharply after last season when they won 4 games and made the playoffs. But things haven't gone so well in the regular season so far. They've been outscored 61-8. And they fumbled the ball 10 times last week. But I think it's more, I think there's still an upside to this team. It's young. There's only 6 senior starters in the lineup, so I think the best days are still ahead. Once they settle the issues on offense, you saw Marcus Burgess rush for 161 yards against Martin County, and they had 400 yards of offense. Once they smooth out the wrinkles, I think you'll see the wins start to come.
I agree with you, and this will be an interesting one to watch all year because obviously you have Westwood with a new coach, Port St. Lucie in the same district with a new coach. At the very minimum, one of these 2 teams will be in the playoffs. Hopefully both, no offense, Suncoast, but hopefully both of these teams from us on the Treasure Coast will be in the playoffs. So, yeah, how will Westwood look? And they got another big game this week against Jensen Beach. That it doesn't get any easier for them. For me, honestly, it's South Fork. And my question with South Fork was not Stilton Banowitz, who's proven himself over and over again, or the running backs. It was, do they have receivers? Do they have enough that they can compete with a Palm Beach Gardens, with a John I. Leonard? Well, they've beaten them both. This is a big week this week. They play a Palm Beach Lakes team that just knocked off Glade Central. I don't care if Glade Central's up or down. They've got talent. So South Fork's obviously doing something right, and we're going to find out this week. Can they continue to take more steps?
Well, I think we know this much about Lakes. When you're 2-0, you've got somebody's attention. South Park clearly is not looking past this team at all.
Oh, for sure. And then we're here at Port St. Lucie, here with the Jaguars. What's the number one thing? This is a team that has not made the playoffs since 1990, just to be fair. What do they need to do? What's the number one thing to turn this program around, in your opinion?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. Number 1, I think, is continuity. I think Coach Dent is going to bring that. We'll be talking with him a little bit later. But I think the biggest thing is just getting more kids out. The more kids you've got, the more chances of developing playmakers and having more depth, and that helps turn things around. It's hard to do it, and you only got 25 or 30, but if you can get that up to 60, then you got a lot more chances, a lot more choices, and a lot of players don't have to keep going both ways or even 3 ways if you count special teams.
Exactly. Is it a chicken or the egg thing? Are the players not coming out because the coaching staff hasn't had the stability, or has the coaching staff not had the stability so the players aren't coming out? I think that it starts with the coach. and I've talked to Coach Dent. I think he is here for the long term. I don't think he sees this as a stepping stone. I don't think he's trying to pad the resume. So I think if they can get that continuity with the coaching staff, get some wins, do some good things, you're going to see more kids come out. That's my opinion.
I think the thing that's always stunning about this is that every team goes through cycles.
Right.
And Port St. Lucie has simply been on an extended down cycle, and you have to think at some point it's time to start trending back up.
Absolutely, and it's bound to happen. You can't struggle forever. So, and I do think better days are definitely ahead. All right, let's get to a couple guys here from Port St. Lucie. We got offensive tackle, junior offensive tackle Ryan Downing. Ryan, I got to ask this: what year were you born?
2000.
2000. So, how much did you know about the history of PSL before you got here? Because they haven't been to the playoffs since 90. That's 10 years before you were born. How much did you know about the history and things like that?
Not too much, just a little bit.
What would it mean to you to be on the team that gets these guys back to the playoffs?
It would mean a lot because I haven't won anything in 26 years. Simple as that.
What would it mean to have, you got a lot of banners up here, different years that you guys went districts. What would it mean to have a district championship this year?
It would be big because only the people in this building believe in us, so, might as well do it.
What is your biggest takeaway? You've had 2 games now and you've had some time with Coach Dent. What's your takeaway on your team? What do you think?
I think we're a good young team. I think we have one of the better defenses in the area, better secondaries actually. And I think that if we become one together, and I think we're starting to do that, good team chemistry, and I think this is the year that we go to districts.
How do you build that chemistry?
It's just trusting everyone in the locker room, go on the field, just knowing that everyone got their back.
Brilliant.
And I think we're starting to get that.
Thank you. Coach.
Coach Dent, how difficult was it coming in to take over in the summer as opposed to having an entire off season and the spring practice?
Well, when I took the job, I knew the situation that I was getting into, and the challenge was I was going to be way behind every other coach in the state. Coming in, I've only had them for 4 weeks before fall camp started, so it was a lot to put together. You had to put together a coaching staff, and then you got to build the trust of the players and get them to come out and believe in you, because the situation that this school is in. But I'm, like you said, I'm here to change this program.
I know you're familiar with the history. 1 winning season in the last 24 years. What's the number one thing you believe has to happen to start turning that around?
Obviously, the kids have got to buy into the system. My coaching philosophy, our coaching philosophy. Like Ryan said, the players have got to have each other's back. And if we start getting success, like you said, kids are coming out. But this year, right now, I have 44 varsity players. I have 38 on the JV. So it's the biggest roster that this school has had. I've been here since 2010. I coached here from 2010 to 14 with Coach Poole, and we have bigger numbers this year than we had during those 4 years when I was here.
Let me interject real quick. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you're having the success getting kids out now?
I think they're excited. I think we got a lot of young kids, and I've talked to you about it. Our sophomore group, we have about 25 sophomores on varsity right now. Wow. Four players that have varsity playing experience. So we're very young. They're very energetic. I think they're very motivated to get to the playoffs for the first time since 1990. I think it's their goal, and that's what we preach.
Of course, you've got Kissimmee Poinciana coming in this week. What's the key to beating them Friday night?
On defense, they run the single wing offense, so it's going to be responsibility football. Players have got to do their role. Offensively, we got to maintain the line of scrimmage. That's where it's always won up front, and continue to run the ball. We have a stable of good young running backs. We got some solid receivers and a good quarterback. That's just going to be the key. Obviously, no turnovers and penalties. Limit those penalties. But defensively, they just got to play responsibility football, and we should be okay.
Coach, thank you.
Awesome, appreciate it. All right, so let's look ahead, and we'll get to PSL points in the last, so the best for last. But Jensen Beach, Westwood. We have 2 Thursday games. Jensen Beach at Westwood. What do you think?
Jensen Beach, a tale of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Did not look very good in a 27-7 loss to Suffolk to open the season, but thoroughly dominated Centennial, 46-0. I don't think anybody saw that coming. So Westwood at 0-2 and having trouble scoring. I look for Jensen Beach to win this game 24-14.
Okay, now let's just to go back. We both said last week there's no way Jensen Beach beat Centennial 45-0 like they did 2 years ago.
I was right.
We were right.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah, we're counting that as a win. Jensen Beach, Westwood, I really like what Jensen Beach is doing, and Coach Caffey, I spoke to him today. He said, look, we kind of hit on the right thing. We're trying to get Jamie and Sherwood, Ty Jackson, and Jason Laux each at least 10 touches a game. If those guys touch the ball at least 30-plus times a game, I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win more often than they're going to lose, and I think they're going to win this one 21-14. I do think it'll be close. Martin County, Highlands Ranch from Colorado.
Well, Martin County showed they can score points, 76 points in 2 games. That's the most, I think, since the 80s. So they can move the football. Can they be consistent on defense? Last week they allowed only 8 points. Highlands Ranch, anytime you're playing an out-of-state opponent, there's always a little unknown there. You're not really sure what's coming. You can't look at really scores to who they played because you have no idea, no frame of reference. But I think Martin County, coming off a big win last week, will look pretty good again. I think they'll win this one 24-21.
Yeah, Martin County's had no problem scoring points. I wonder, with a team like Highlands Ranch that has only played 1 game, I wonder what kind of speed are they anticipating with when you get to county, because you got guys like Nuke and Martin, other guys on the outside. It's very difficult. So I think Martin County runs away with this one, 31-13. Fort Pierce Central at Clewiston.
Well, a year ago, Central rallied on the road to beat the Tigers, and I think this year it's going to be another close game. I look for Fort Pierce Central to pull this out 21-17. Yeah,
they rallied last year. I don't think they're going to have to this year. I think their defense plays better. 21-10, I think Central takes this one. Treasure Coast Deltona, and what I think might be the sleeper game of the week. What do you think?
You know, I'm not sure about that. Treasure Coast came off a dominating performance against a Jupiter team that admittedly is struggling, but it was still one of the most complete season-opening wins in Treasure Coast's 11-year history. And I think they're going to build on that against Deltona. I think Deltona's going to have a little bit of trouble stopping them. I think it's going to be 21-10 Treasure Coast.
Deltona is big. They've got a receiver that is 6'7", 240. So try matching up against him. You know, just get Shaquille O'Neal for the week. I don't know. But I do think Treasure Coast pulls this one out. I'm going to say it's going to be 21-20, though. And I think when you take a trip like this, you're going to Deltona, long drive, I think you're going to find some things out about your team. How do they handle any kind of adversity? So I think Treasure Coast is going to be in good shape there. Centennial, Sebastian River.
Ooh, this is 2 teams going in different directions. You know, Centennial coming off that 46-0 loss to Jensen Beach, while Sebastian has looked terrific on defense. I just think that Centennial is going to struggle all night long to move the football. I look for Sebastian to win this one 27-7.
Yeah, that's the question. Can Centennial run the ball? John Carroll had 4 yards last week. Obviously, Centennial's got a bigger line. Their guys aren't going both ways, but that Sebastian River front 7 is for real. I think Sebastian River, I think they're going to win a lot of battles of attrition. I think they're going to win this one 14-0. Okeechobee, Moorhaven.
Battle of undefeated teams. Okeechobee's 1-0, Moorhaven's 2-0. But I really like the fact that Okeechobee showed they could score points in bunches, and I think that's going to be the difference this week. I think Okeechobee wins this game. It's going to be competitive, but Okeechobee pulls it out 31-24.
Seriously?
Yeah.
31-24, Okeechobee. That was my pick as well. St. Ed's, Village Academy.
Well, the question for St. Edwards is, will they have enough players for the game? They finished the season opener with 12, and then last week's game was canceled because the team couldn't make it up here. Had a bus broke down. I think they're going to struggle against Village Academy. Village Academy is playing a lot better, 17-7. It'll be close, but I think St. Ed's, without the depth, is going to struggle.
I think they're going to be fine in the first half, St. Ed's, but when you're playing literally every single snap, every single one, you can't, I don't know how you sustain that. I think Village Academy wins this one. I think they pull away late, 31-10. Now, this is one I literally was on websites today trying to figure out how to pronounce this. I think it's Champagne Catholic. That's what I'm going with against John Carroll. I know how to say John Carroll. What do you think?
I think John Carroll bounces back from the loss to Sebastian. I think they win this game 24-16.
Yeah, I think John Carroll was a little bit overwhelmed both with numbers and other things. I think they're going to be fine this week, 31-17. I think they take this one.
What's funny about that loss last week, they lost 41-10, yet recovered 5 fumbles. If they recover 5 fumbles this week, it'll be a runaway win.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the top games of the week, South Fork, Palm Beach Lakes.
Palm Beach Lakes has won 2 games by a combined total of 7 points, including that 3-point win against Glade Central. South Fork has looked pretty good in its first 2 games, had to rally to beat John Leonard, but the fact that they were able to keep their composure after falling behind late is really impressive to me. I think South Fork keeps it going, but I think it'll be close, 27-24.
I love the game. I love how South Fork is testing itself against Palm Beach County schools. I think that it's just a too much combination of Cephas and Stanley. Cephas, Leonard, Stanley, Spence. Both had over 100 yards rushing last week. I think the magic number for South Fork is when those guys average 225 or up total offense. I think that they're going to win games. I think they do it again. I think this is going to be close, though. I think it's going to be 31-24.
And didn't Leonard have a kickoff return for a touchdown last week?
They
also?
combined for 4. Yeah. Vero Beach, Palm Beach Gardens. What's the number?
Vero Beach trying to set the all-time area regular season winning streak, trying for number 27, and I think it's going to be difficult. Palm Beach Gardens trailed Boca Raton last week 21-0, rallied to take the lead and then lost 30-28. So you know Gardens is going to give a fight the whole way, but I do believe that Vero Beach will pull this out 27-17, and that'll be number 27 in a row.
I think Vero is going to finally be tested, which I think is good for them. I think, though, that they do pull this one out. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to struggle at times just because their defense is really good. They've got a linebacker going to Alabama. That means he can play. But I think Vero Beach wins this one 34-24. And it will be close in the fourth quarter, which is going to be great. All right, here we go. PSL Point Siena.
One thing I can guarantee, you know, I've had some guarantees here the first 2 weeks and didn't turn out too well.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Westwood didn't score against Central as I predicted, and Centennial wasn't able to improve on a 45-0 loss a year ago to Jensen as I predicted.
Are you sure you want to make another guarantee
Well,
then?
this one's pretty much in the bag. One of these teams is guaranteed to score its first points of the season because both have been shut out so far, so we know somebody's going to win, which means somebody's going to score.
Wow, you're a genius.
Thank you. That said, it's a great opportunity for Port St. Lucie to break through, and I absolutely think this is the week they do it, but it's going to be a competitive game. Port St. Lucie pulls this out 14-13.
Wow. I'll take it. Yeah, coach is like, I'll take that number. I think this. I think that you have 2 running backs here that can break it at any time. And I do think that they're going to have some success offensively. I think the defense is going to be emboldened by that offense. I think Port St. Lucie wins this one 21-17. I think it's going to be close, but I think the Jaguars get the W here at home in their season, in their home opener. I want this in the office. All right, let me see that. All right, thanks. This is great. I'm going to give that to you. That's my gift to you from being at Port St. Lucie. Wow. That's it for us. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. For Dennis, myself, we'll see you next week at St. Ed's.
Yep, we'll be there.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.